Maybe after my brief presentation, I think player coach might be more appropriate. Destined from a small boy to attend Bergen Catholic and play football. That's what he wanted, and that's exactly what he did. For 3 years, sophomore, junior, senior year, he did not lose a game. Amazing. In 1992, Bergen Record called it the game of the century. It was between Bergen Catholic and Paramus Catholic. Final score, 44-34, Bergen Catholic wins. Who won that game? Dave Cavaluso.
Woo!
He had help, but he did a lot. Scored a touchdown, scored a 2-point conversion, had 83 clutch receiving yards. On defense, this kid played both sides of the ball, 12 tackles, interception, forced fumble, and a recovery. That was all in one game. I understand at halftime he did a beautiful rendition of Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. David has dedicated 28 years of his professional life to Bergen Catholic as the strength and conditioning coach and was the freshman head football coach from 2013 up till quite recently, given a career change. Dave rightly believed, and I believe this too, he believed that freshman football was the first and most important step in teaching and preparing young men to play in MetLife Stadium. It all happens in that first couple weeks of freshman year. I could not agree more. Talk about giving back so much to the school that gave you much. Dave, we thank you. We honor you tonight. Come on up here and tell your story.
Good evening, everyone. Before we get started, is the picture up? No. Well, I asked the committee for one small favor tonight. Just put the picture of DeRosa up from high school. Make everyone think I was a good-looking kid. I mean, you talk about a guy who couldn't because he was good Catholic. That's the reason, okay? Anyway, we're going to start off with a zinger about Coach Stengel. If you read his retirement party a couple of years ago, you already heard this. But it's so good it bears repeating. This is an upset that I'm standing before you here tonight. I should not be up here, and I'm going to give you the reason why. I want to take you back to 1989, freshman year at Bergen, opening kickoff. I'm coming off the Defensive Player of the Year, the 120-pound and under league Hackensack Junior Comets. But I'm not having the same success at Bergen. I'm only 13 years old. I'm not really playing. I'm not too sure of myself. But Coach Conway's nice enough to put me on kickoff return. And as if an X was on my chest, the ball's kicked right to me, hits my fingers, rolls underneath my legs, and Bergen recovers the ball. Now look, if you're slot Bergen, 40 points, you're still going to win the game 70-40. And I think my partner in crime, Ben Tonin, killed the running back and quarterback on the next few plays. But as a 13-year-old, I was distraught. I thought my whole Bergen Catholic career was over before it even started. And you have to realize the only thing I ever wanted to do from the second grade on was go to Bergen and play football. My pediatrician told me, David, if you want to be good at sports, you got to go to Bergen. I was there, full payer. 2 games in, thought it was over. And my fears were confirmed as I got to the sideline. There Coach Stengel was watching his freshman team. And we all know Coach, the father. You figure the guy's going to put his arm around you, make you feel good about yourself. And he leans in and says, son, you will never step onto the field for Bergen Catholic ever again. Well, I'm here now. And I would like to thank the school and committee for this great honor. And I would like to congratulate the other inductees. They're so deserving, great people. How I found out, Ben calls me up from his boat down there in Charleston. And yes, Ben does have his own boat, everyone, okay? Patches, Joe Sandberg, and they give me the news. And to get it from both of them was just awesome. 2 of the very best. And I think this honor, this induction, is really a tribute to all the people in my life that have given me the support to be able to maintain and sustain this level of excellence. My sister said it best in an Instagram post about my 50th birthday in November. David loves his football, his friends, his family, and she's right, that's me. It's those three pillars of why I'm standing here. I love my football and my high school. They each have given me the courage and will to fight, the intellect to formulate a plan to succeed on the field and in life, and the emotional integrity to build relationships on and off the field. And the only reason that's possible is for the coaches who've helped and guided me here. First up, Mike Campanelli, Coach Campy. We sort of had a marriage. We loved each other. Sometimes we wouldn't look at each other. And other times, we wouldn't talk to each other for days or even weeks. But we made it work. I want to thank him for coming along for the ride and for also expanding my vocabulary, which does come in handy on the football field. Nuns. In my formative years, learning the X's and O's of the early 2010s, he along with my great friend Kevin White, one of the best high school football coaches in New Jersey, were my biggest influences. He taught me to coach with toughness. He always had time for me, no matter how busy his schedule was. He was my mentor and became my friend, and I'll always cherish that. Vito. I mean, what can I say? I'll run through 10 brick walls for him, and so will his players. He's taken this program to heights never before seen, and he's done it the right way. It's a privilege to coach for him. You know, all the great things about Coach Vito is the staff he's put together. It's the best mix of young and old guys we've ever had. I walk into that weight room at 6 a.m. and I get to see Carl Seitz and Joe Moraga, or I call him Joe Max, sorry, Joe Max. They love Bergen, and they're two most genuine guys I know. I coach on a freshman team with Jay Bergen. He's one of the architects of our success here, the most humble guy there is. Dom Santoli, simply put, Hall of Famer 2027. It's as simple as that. Love you, Dom. And if I need any help, I get to lean on a varsity staff that has 6 former players that I've coached. Gene Coleman, Javon Cruz, Brendan McGovern, Matty Diadetta, John Germano, Kicker Joe. Nothing better than that. And if I need any other advice, I got the old-timers like me, Coach George, Coach Cardi, Coach DeBellis. And a quick word about Coach DeBellis. You know, you talk about pillars and foundation and being up here. Well, if it wasn't for Coach DeBellis, I really don't know where I'd be. 8 years ago, he gave me an opportunity at a new beginning, and I'm forever grateful. He was my coach, my friend, and now he's my boss. And of course, I can't leave without, and I'm going to go on after this article, the 5 guys who gave me my start in football, who made me the player I was and the coach I am today, who set the pace for high school football in the 90s. That's Anthony DeBellis, as I said, Jorge Mascaro, Scott Sylvester, Joe Hammerly, and Fred Stangel. And Coach, I'm just glad you didn't stick to your word in 1989. You were always there for me. Personally, professionally, you always had that back. It gave me so much confidence and meant so much to me. Thank you, Coach. And the guy who puts the checks in the mail, Mr. Haas, Carl Haas, thank you for everything you've done for me and the entire program for 40 years. Thank you so much. I love my friends, my hometown friends, my teammates, the kids I coached. We've been on trips together. I've been to some of your weddings. Some of you, I still hang out with the DJs in Belmar, right, Dylan and Johnny? Where are you? To all of you, especially the guys I coached, I emptied the tank. I gave you everything I had. And I say that because that's exactly what you deserve. To do any less just wouldn't be fair because you've given everything to this school. You young men are the best the school has to offer. I'm so proud to say I've coached you. So proud to say that I've coached you. It's a crazy hobby as I talk about, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love my family. I think about what gave me the medal, the toughness to stay at it this long, playing, coaching, competing. And it really started in Little League. My dad was a great coach, tough as nails, yet also a common voice of reason. But the secret to my success was my sister Suzanne, otherwise known as the dugout Hitler. I go 3 for 4, 2 homers, a double, 5 RBIs, and a hard line drive out to third. And I'm happy, game's almost over, and I'll let Derek Kuhn go home and play Nintendo for the rest of the night. And as I get back to the dugout, there she was standing there with that teased up Bon Jovi hair, looking at me like a piece of crap. That's it? You can only get 3 hits, you didn't want a 4th? What's the matter with you? You talk about fortitude, having a stiff spine. You talk about expectations. I was 10 years old. But she prepared me. She was my biggest critic and also my biggest fan. My brother-in-law, Jason, the only guy I ever liked that my sister went out with. Huge Bergen fan. My nephew, Mason, and I joke with him all the time, don't be stupid like me and be a trainer and make no money. Please, go on Wall Street, make a couple million so I can retire and your mom and dad too. And we laugh. But whatever he does, he's going to be successful because he's a leader and a caring young man, and I don't want him to change for a second. And the glue that holds it all together down the shore, my Aunt Judy and Bo. The highlight of my night is them being here. They took it upon themselves when my mom passed and my dad, and even though my sister and myself were in our 20s and eventually 30s, to look out after us, to make sure there wasn't anything we ever needed, to make sure we were okay. And I love them for that. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't conclude with a word about the two greatest people ever in my life, the real Hall of Famers, my mom, Barbara, and dad, Albert, both gone way too soon. They were the best. They gave me everything, they taught me everything. And it wasn't necessarily with words all the time, it was just by their presence. They both had a unique presence about them. My mom was just a beautiful woman, the happiest person in the room. My dad, I don't know, he kind of looked like a character out of The Sopranos or Goodfellas, a serious person, but someone who liked to bust chops and had fun too. And everyone just loved being around the both of them. And I never wanted to let them down, I never wanted to embarrass them, because they deserve that respect. And of all the great things about my parents, the one that stands out more than anything were their smiles. They both had tremendous, infectious smiles. And I know they're both smiling down on all of us here tonight. They're smiling down on Bergen Catholic. They love Bergen. They talked about Bergen before I went there, when I was there, and after I went there. And I think they sent me to Bergen really to do good. And I think that's the mission of our great school, to teach those to do good. And I just know they're smiling down on me tonight and they're saying, good job, son, good job, you've done good. And I want to let them know that I'm smiling right back at them. I love them. Thank you, Bergen Catholic. Thank you for it all.
Our next honor